Let not hate rule thy heart. Let not fear break thy will. Let not wrath cloud thy mind. Let not midnight stand eternal. Blades and Blasters presents Eternal Midnight by Rogue. This is Demon Gate, a fantasy setting filled with horror and grief. Keep your fires high, else perish in the darkness.
And at the end of days, the first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity.
You're live.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Demon Gate. This is Team Human session, or Team Exile, whichever you want to call them. Be sure to like and subscribe to Blades and Blasters if you've not already. As well, check out the setting of Demon Gate, drivethroughrpg.com. Tonight on Demon Gate, we have our players, Slip as Keltiel. Matihi is going to be playing Rune. Ghost is going to be playing Hunter, and Walter Peck is Farthnar the Ranger, who unfortunately have been split asunder due to differences in religious and moral beliefs from the other main characters of the story. They could no longer operate together, so we had to split the group. It sucks, but at the same time, good role-playing. This argument was not between the players at all. They still played plenty of other games together. This was all about the characters and their beliefs. So, good job on the players' part. One more thing I wanted to bring up. If you've been following along, we've been using a totally different manner of leveling from the normal operations of the system rules. We've been leveling once per session. This way we could reach some higher levels and build up to the point where hopefully by the end of the campaign, the characters will be strong enough to fight some powerful things. Okay, I'll shut up now and get back to the game. So thanks for watching and enjoy some Demon Gate. There have been many days of sorrow, and as is life, hardships have come easily. Since the arrival to Skore, it has been a constant uphill battle, with little time to rest or regroup. The forces of darkness were many, and the party knew they had to be smart to win this fight. Vagrant's shop had been a promising place to lay low and gather up some equipment, but it was a short-lived hideout. The party was able to escape from a back window and run from the burning shop before it was totally surrounded. Luckily, the party had fled with the help of a new ally, the Jarl's daughter, Vrun Grau. She was a shield maiden growing up, a barbarian, a berserker, or so it seemed to the others. She could handle an axe well, and grew up here in Skore, in the Jarl's manor. She had claimed that she had escaped from the place with another human, a man at the end of his wits. Yet her little brother was still in the manor, and she meant to go back and get him out of there. She knew every street of this place, so she led the party to the church, for there was no other choice but to run from the horde of undead that had been sent to crush them. Farthnar the ranger knew of Run since she was younger. He had never spoken with her, though, since his business was often with her father. Farthnar had planned to only help these people for a short time. He had planned to take a family of survivors out of here and get them safely back to Hammerfall, a city to the south. But something was making him stay. Was it the morality of it all? Was it the fact that he wanted to save all of these people and rescue the town of Skore? Or did it have anything to do with the flame-haired alchemist, Keltiel? The ranger couldn't deny the fact that there was some fondness between the two. When that witch had seduced him with her magic, he had only seen Keltiel in the vision. He had imagined he was kissing her in the illusion. She had hexed upon him. Whatever it was keeping him here, the fact remained that he was a brave warrior, and they needed all the help they could get. Keltiel knew the manor, knew how to get there, but they were now only farther from that. She missed her sister, and some part of her was not going to give up. She still held on to hope that she would get her back, and that they'd ride away from this cursed place together, with the twin stars shining and the evil vanquished from this land. Yet it was a hard dream to see right now, hard to make real in her mind. She knew Yuya was still okay. She was still out there because of their blood right. Their ritual had sealed their blood together. There was also something going on with her family that she needed to learn more about. Something to do with the witches and her father and mother. She held on to the holy symbol of Ghana. She had never prayed before, but the amulet reminded her of Yuya, and she wanted this nightmare to be over once and for all. Hunter was still on this quest, the path to his brother. To get to him and kill him, it could end all of this in his mind. His brother carried the cursed book that may have been the cause of all this suffering. The book that his brother had been searching for quite some time was here. Once they reached that manor, he could end all this, kill the witches, disband the Black Coven. Then, finally, hopefully, the hole inside him, knowing that he could perhaps find some kind of peace after this. Varun had heard rumors of passages below the town, from King Fjorth's rule about 200 years ago. She knew about the passages under the church that had been locked away, but the lore wasn't strong in her memory. Something bad happened, though it was all sealed away. The tales of the king and his sacrifice long ago were known by only a few in town, but mostly forgotten. Especially to the girl who didn't really care about books. She cared about fighting, learning how to use weapons. That was on her mind, how to hunt and how to kill. She had missed out on some of the legend Asmund used to teach all the children in the manor. The old man, Asmund, was a powerful war mage, the Jarl's advisor, his thane, who was wise beyond his years. And he taught all the highborn to read. So seeing him like this, in this maddened state, was difficult. When they ran into him down here, Varun was surprised, but he was no longer himself. He spoke to them as if they were his students from 200 years ago. These students were surely dead by now, And Asmund was not alive 200 years ago. Or was he? Whoever this was, or whoever Asmund thought he was, had been dead for so long. Asmund's mind was near the frayed ends of sanity. Asmund floated everywhere in his decrepit state. He was a blood mage, a type of lich, a creature so powerful that it could destroy any one of them with a single gesture or a single word. The blood mage was a fearsome being, and it haunted the halls of this place. There were other undead in these chambers too, servants of the blood mage. He had confined the party to their old quarters, and they began to dig into the past to find any clues they could. There were only a few rules in this school, it seemed. Never wander the halls after high moon, never leave the school without the master's permission, and never ever go down into the dungeon. We pick back up at the hour of midnight when the students are supposed to be in bed and the master is making his rounds. The blue light fades off down the hallway once Asmund says goodnight from the hall and laughs, a sound so rotten, congested, and wicked from deep in his chest. Again, he leaves you each in the candlelight or the darkness of your room. And go ahead, Keltiel.
As Aslan's blue light fades into the distance, Keltiel finds herself following that terrible presence even farther, feeling him fade out of her awareness with some newly awakened sense, born of magic and fear. Leaning against the door, she closes her eyes, experimenting, sweeps the hallway and the rooms around her with this burgeoning tendril of awareness. To her surprise, she can feel a shape that she recognizes as Hunter. A few cells down, quiet, steady, resolute. Beyond him, that of Viren, less familiar, but strong and fairly buzzing with adrenaline. As Keltiel reaches for Farthnar in the cell adjacent, her pulse quickens at the feel of him. Warmth, humor, and the wildness of Balakleid itself. She pauses a moment, then tentatively she reaches farther out, instinctively traveling down that connection between her and her sister, the blood bond strengthened by the ritual and ever present in the back of her mind. Somewhere far away, Yu is there, still alive. She feels it. When Keltiel makes contact, she recoils as if burnt by it. The pain of rejection and loss are still very fresh. She opens her eyes to her immediate surroundings, this musty cell belonging to someone long dead and forgotten. Deirdre? A few moldering belongings are all that is left to tell her story. Someday, perhaps soon, Keltiel thinks, she will also be dead and gone. The room felt increasingly airless and oppressive. What other spirits haunt this place, lost to time and forgotten? Keltiel's palms grow sweaty, and she feels panic rising in her chest. This room was a grave. She couldn't stay there, not through the night, not for another minute. Still not sensing Aslan, she cracks open her door and peers out. Seeing no one, she steps out into the hallway, closes the door softly behind her. A few steps bring her to Farthnar's cell, the room of Tibbus. She hesitates and then taps timidly on the door.
Farthnar, hearing the tap, kind of rises from where he was sitting in deep contemplation and slowly goes to the door, opening it slightly and seeing that it was Keltiel, and opens it wider for her to come in, and looks at her and asks, "Is something the matter?"
She steps in, avoiding his gaze a little bit. Her arms at her side, she starts looking at her hands. Close the door behind me.
Farthnar, kind of curious as to what the problem may be, closes the door behind her and then kind of stands in front of her and kind of repeats his question. Is everything okay?
She gives a one-shouldered shrug, still having a hard time meeting his eyes. I think I'm more afraid of being alone with my own thoughts than anything haunting this place. She looks down at the holy symbol of Ghana that she's still clutching somewhat unconsciously in one hand. Yuya, I miss her and I fear for her. I do not know what is worse, worrying for her safety or knowing that she is alive and has abandoned me.
Knowing she's alive, that's something to pin your hope to, that it's not too late, that she's not gone forever. I'm one that's experienced loss, and to know that she's still alive is something that should give you hope and give you something to move forward and to keep that fire alive inside of you. But I can understand if, after being with your sister for so long, someone to confide in, to sit with, to make it through the night. If you want to stay here, I understand.
She looks up, gives him a small smile. Thank you. It won't be a bother for me to be here.
It's his turn to be a little awkward, and he kind of looks down. And, no, not at all. I'm more than happy to have you here tonight. Here, come sit over here.
Go ahead.
He just kind of motioned to where he'd been sitting. Goes, here, why don't you sit with me?
She sits on the edge of that moldering mattress, but probably the most comfortable place in these rooms.
Tell me, how do you know your sister's still alive?
I've always had a sense, that bond of two that come from the same womb, but since we performed the blood rite, I can feel her if I reach for her, like a second heartbeat. It's how I know she's still there, that she wasn't driven out by that, whatever it is, that has possessed her.
Farthnar kind of takes his hands and takes hers and gently pats him, kind of looks at her and goes, I've been alone for a long time, and as I've been with you guys these last few days with you, I realize that companionship and friendship is something that I shunned for a long time, and I've made a mistake. I lost someone too, and as long as your sister's alive, as long as you can feel she's alive, I will help you, and I will help you find her and save her.
Keltiel scoots closer to him and leans against him a bit. Who did you lose?
Farthnar was kind of quiet for a long time. It was someone he hadn't thought of for several years, burying the pain and the memories of that night. And he kind of quietly answers, I was married once, a long time ago, and I lost my wife.
Oh, you were married.
I was. We had built a cottage in the woods to get away, to start a life together. And he kind of pauses, clearly not enjoying the memories. He goes, and I came across a group of individuals that the pale plague had infected, and I thought I had lost them. But that night, I woke up to a sound of them trying to burst into our home, and as we tried to escape, they grabbed her and pulled her down. And despite every part of me wanting to stay and die with her, I found myself running. It's something that a shame I live with every day.
Keltiel seems a little stunned by the story. She doesn't look at him, but she squeezes his hand. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have made you speak of it.
No, it's nothing to feel bad of. It's something that it's a shame that I've bared for a long time, but it's okay. It's not your fault. And he kind of leans into her and rests his head against hers, and it's just something that I rarely talk to people about, but I thought it was something that I could share with you.
I know what it's like to carry a burden like that. Some terrible shame. And that's perhaps why Yuya decided to leave me. I thought she had forgiven me, but I don't know. Maybe it's something that can't really ever be forgiven. When we were small, she looks away. I set a fire in our house. Our mother died in that fire.
It was an accident, I'm sure.
She nods. Even so, I killed my mother. No, it's no wonder that Yuya hates me.
She doesn't hate you. I don't know her that well, but I do know from how she reacted when you were injured. There's no hate.
Keltiel turns back, and Arthnar can see that there are a couple of tears leaking from her eyes, and she takes her free hand and wipes them away impatiently. I don't know. Perhaps you're right. I do need to find her. Whatever her reasons, I need to speak to her. Finish this.
He kind of follows suit and takes a hand and brushes her cheek and looks at her and goes, I promise I'll help you. I swear it.
She bites her lip and says, I know it's selfish of me to think this, but I'm glad you didn't leave with the villagers.
Neither am I. And knowing this is an illusion, he kind of slowly moves closer to her. Hesitant at first, but leans in to kiss her.
As he does, she leans in and wraps an arm around his neck. She pulls herself in tighter, and he can feel that strange heat that is unique to her leaking from her lips and her hands and every place there's contact. As she
It was-
finally...
Go ahead. Nope, go ahead.
As she pulls away for a moment, she says, "There. Then the next time you find yourself kissing a witch and thinking it is me, you will know the difference."
He kind of has like the sheepish grin and is very excited by like the heat radiating off her, and he goes, "Oh, I don't think I'll ever mistake this again," and for someone else, and kind of leans back in for more.
And then the camera pans over to Varun and Hunter. What are you guys doing?
So, Virun, she's been sitting back after cleaning her axe. She's been listening to the two of them talk, and of hearing that silence for a moment and her explaining about kissing witches. Björn's a bit confused, but she can just assume where this is going. And she kind of quickly heads out of her room and knocks on Hunter's. And she knocks again. "Hunter?"
Ghost, you there?
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Oh, hold on. Okay, there we go. He puts down the map he had been studying and goes over and opens the door. Get in.
It might be better if you come to mine. She glances back at the other door across the hallway. Less noise.
Fine. He grabs his bow quickly and looks around, closes his door.
Do you have the map?
Yes.
She'll wander back into her own room. And quickly close it quietly as they both enter. And she'll sit down with kind of a heavy thud onto the floor, looking up at Hunter. "I think we should figure out how to get out of here."
That's what I've been doing.
Well,
It's the map.
have you figured anything out?
Rogue, I would know in a relative sense what direction the manor is from where we were at, would I?
Yeah, I believe you guys figured that out last time. Kind of what direction towards the manor you would want to go.
So referencing this map, the church map, if I could make some kind of test to see what would appear to be the most likely route to go that direction from where we're at right now.
If you, either navigation or perception check. Because I think it was Varun that rolled last time. And she had gotten kind of an idea that it was in the direction of the observatory or the alchemy place, that kind of same direction. Yeah, and you kind of get the same feeling, like even though that you're underground, you believe that the manor would be off in that direction.
So towards the alchemy lab and observatory,
Mm-hmm.
and then our quarters are like between the spell chamber and library, right?
Correct, yeah. If you wanted to head towards the alchemy chamber, You would come out of this room and go north on the current map that we're looking at here, as
Yeah.
well as there.
So Hunter rubs his chin under the mask and then traces a finger for where they're at. We're here. And he kind of traces a finger up to where the Alchemy Lab and Observatory are. I think our best bet at getting to the Jarl's Keep Manor is going this direction.
And she nods, looking at the map, getting back up and taking a glance over Hunter's shoulder at it. Yeah, and the problem is, if we leave now, that creature, whatever it was, is in the library. It will be impossible to sneak past it.
Not impossible, but difficult. I am loath to spend much more time around our host, but he thinks about it. He did say we were going to be studying in the morning. He might bring us into the library. We might be able to find a reason to leave the librarian's, whatever that thing is, view. Or if Asmund goes away, we might be able to just take it by surprise and slay it before moving on.
Vian nods in agreement. Yes, I think that's the best method. I have heard deeds and stories of Asmund, and I've seen some of his magics in the works. I would not want to have to go against him at this point. None of us would survive.
He would kill us all. He's a blood mage.
He would have killed us all before this. So I can believe it.
He'll have to die someday, but there's no point in throwing our lives away. We'd need many more powerful men, or better advantages to kill him right now. It's better to bypass him completely.
Yes, I agree. Though, past him, there's so much more out there that we have to deal with. I don't know, getting the book, I don't know if that's the cause of this, or something. But maybe the book that Asmund originally sent the priest out to find, maybe that has the answers in order to solve this.
Hunter kind of shakes his head and maybe, but that's playing with dark magics. In my experience, if you want to handle an undead infestation, you kill the ones causing it. This coven and my brother are the ones who are at the head. If we remove them, the rest of the dead should dissipate. Maybe somebody can save your father or some of the others, but what likely will have to happen is all of them will have to die.
Van sighs, looking down. She takes a deep breath and looks back up to Hunter and nods. It will be what's best for the village once we can get this solved. Though she kind of looks out towards the door. There are other things. I'm assuming you're more familiar with undead than I am. When I escaped from the cells, escaped with a man named Edgar. Him and I got separated by a horde of them, and we saw this creature in the night. Had horns, almost like a Gelt's head. Edgar called it a Wendigo.
He scratches his chin a bit. Does that sound like anything familiar for me in creature lore?
Yeah, could you roll your creature lore? Maybe find out how much exactly. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, definitely. You've probably encountered before, maybe not fought them before, but you know that they eat the dead as well too, kind of like the necrophage, and that silver deals. They have a low resistance to silver as well.
Are they typically controllers, or just they associate with them because they consume corpses?
Um, they're usually more powerful and they're shapeshifters, so they can hide as in the form of normal people.
Okay. Are they true? Are they undead from my understanding, or are they just associate with
They're
undead
just
groups?
associated.
Yeah, and Hunter scratches his chin, and it doesn't surprise me. There's all sorts of powerful creatures here. Wendigos aren't real undead, but they do eat corpses. They recover wounds freakishly fast. I've never actually fought one, only pinned one a long time ago, stuck it in a cave. I'm sure it escaped, but I couldn't have killed it on my own. They are very strong, but they are weak against silver, just as undead. They share that issue. It's another thing we have to deal with.
Vian looks to her axe, looking it up and down. Well, if only I had some silver to coat this with, I'd be slightly more useful when we fought these things.
You cleaved a very powerful undead creature down on your own. I'm sure you'll do just fine.
Ha! I could have cleaved more if I had more silver.
Hunter shrugs. Well, we have to make do with what we have. We're not getting any more silver from the town, that's for sure.
Well, if I find something, I'll use it. Again, she looks out towards the door and you see her eyes narrow slightly. I don't know how those two are doing this right now.
I found that people wrestle at all strange hours. He's completely serious. There's no tone of sarcasm in his voice.
You see Anne's gaze slowly turn to Hunter and she looks to speak for a moment, closes her mouth, and then looks to speak again. Yes, Lysel. Sure. Maybe to get out the nerves of being in such a hard place.
It could be combat training. Farthnor is an experienced ranger. I'm sure he's teaching Keltiel survival techniques.
Viren, just this smile spreads across her face. You don't know what they're doing? Truly.
Should I? He looks at her.
I mean, you seem older than a child.
I am.
You know how, she kind of gets up and paces around the room. You know how, babies are born, right?
From a mother and her womb. What are you getting at?
The activity that needs to come before that.
No, I never learned about that.
Oh, she puts a heavy hand on Hunter's shoulder and shakes her head. You poor thing. There are many things you are missing out on.
That would happen given my circumstances. He kind of continues looking at the map.
She shakes her head a bit and looks back down at the map. It's Probably better. What do you think they're doing anyway?
It doesn't matter. As long as they're ready for tomorrow, they can wrestle or do whatever it is you think they're doing.
She chuckles and nods. I'll see if they're ready, depending on how long they go.
Hunter just kind of shrugs and puts the map away. Is there anything else?
I don't think so. But you were what they were saying. You were with others before. Yes.
2, Keltiel's sister, and a strange man who claims he's an angel.
Oh. And she squints her eyes a bit. An angel, you say? It's, strange. What happened?
He thinks about it. He knew of this place. It was back where I found him. You see, where I found him was in a frozen cave. He was completely nude. He should have died to exposure, but he wasn't dead. I carried him back to the temple in which her sister was a priestess, nursed him back to health. And then we came here. He wanted to go back to the cave, so there was a powerful weapon that would aid us in our struggle. He found the weapon. He said that the priestess, her name was Yuya, needed to give her life in order to make the weapon work, essentially. In order to release a spirit of someone significant to him named Vengeance. He stabbed Yuya through the chest before I could do anything to stop him. As he was preparing to fight with me, she rose back, much like the dead. But I don't know. They're both some kind of abominations. It was her appearance, but not her. It was something else. A possession. I don't trust them. And if I do find they've been causing trouble, I will hunt them. But I have to deal with this first.
Sounds similar to almost what happened to my father. I will say if you need assistance after all this is done. I am happy to hunt more. It sounds like the redhead is upset about it.
I may take you up on it, but I usually work alone. And 2, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. My brother's going to be challenged enough without having to deal with people who think they're angels and are some sort of strange sorcerers.
Right. Let's focus on getting out of here. Till the morning then. She'll go back and sit on her cot.
Till the morning. And then he turns and starts to head towards the door.
As you're about to go into your room, you notice something coming down the hallway, slowly stepping. Footfalls are creaking on the wood. And you notice it's that bard that was in the room before as you guys came in. He's wearing his hood and carrying his violin, and he's just slowly walking. He's not really paying attention to you at all, though.
Does he seem to register that I'm even in the hall?
No, he doesn't even look at you at all. He just keeps walking.
Hunter's gonna stop for a moment and look at him and kind of look around. Does he hear anything else other than the creaking of the bard's footsteps? Well, other than obvious things across the hall, but other than that.
No, you don't really pick up anything else strange. Any other sounds? This place is really old, so there's creaking and things like that here and there, but nothing else catches your attention. The bard opens up a door at the end of the hallway with a key that was much like yours, and then closes the door as if that was his bedchamber.
Yeah, Hunter's gonna get a little curious and walk down the hall carefully, trying to trace where he went.
Yeah, you can see at the very end of the hallway, it would be to your left, the very last door on the left, as you were coming down. You can see the names written on the doors as you pass them. There was Malok. The ones that you guys have visualization in is the one that you guys were able to walk into, of course. The one on your left was Malik. That was the one that you were able to peek into from Tibbis's room. And then there's Deidre. And then at the end it says Koloth. And that was the room that the bard went into, the skeleton figure. Across the hall from that is a room that says Jakai and Zulu, two that must have shared a room together. And Alcor on your right. Jakai and Zulu is here, and Alcor is written on this door here. But both of them are locked and there's no visible key. As you get down to this door, this is the way that you believe the blue light went as it left after he said his good nights to you all. He moved down this passageway and disappeared, you suppose, through that way.
He's going to be listening very intently, but this is the door that the bard went into.
Oh yeah, Koloth's room. You can make a perception check actually right here. At this point, you can hear sounds coming from this door. They're the very faint sounds of screams. Pain.
He's not going to test it just yet. He is curious to see what this skeleton's doing, though. Is this door unlocked?
It is not. Appears he must have unlocked it and went inside and then locked it again.
That door, is that just into the main chamber area that we were in having dinner, quote unquote?
No, you believe that one there. Let's see here. I'm going to make sure I'm looking at the map correctly. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, see, there's the bedrooms in the center there, right where it says sublevel 3.
Okay, yeah, so this is going to the spell chamber and dungeon area then.
Yeah.
If I understand, okay.
That's what you kind of deduce by using, your perception and stuff. Anyway, that is kind of misleading to have it say your quarters right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he debates on it, but errs on the side of caution. His curiosity no longer getting the best of him because he knows that he's liable to go somewhere because Asmund, as he is for the most part, docile despite being something Hunter despises. So he doesn't feel like he would give bad advice as in don't go to the dungeon. And hearing the screams kind of confirms that. So he's just like, he's very leery. He would rather try to put in his plan for the morning. Because
For sure.
He's fairly certain that they should be able to get access to the library. So he debates going to see what's happening, but then decides at the better of it and begins going back to his room carefully.
It is tempting. All right. So he goes back to the room, and if anybody is good, we will continue.
Yep.
Everybody's good from here? All right. The next day, you awaken, and I would assume that Farthnar and Keltiel are still lying in the bed together, and you guys didn't go back to your separate rooms, did you? Or
No, she wasn't going back to her room by herself.
okay. Yeah, and you can hear what sounds like a little bell move past the doors, and it wakes you all up at about the same time, pretty much.
Keltiel scrambles up, and remembering what she felt last night, she reaches out to see if she can feel Aslan coming.
You feel a presence, but it doesn't feel as powerful as his. But you do feel one nearby, and as it's receding away from you. You don't believe it was him.
Keltiel looks at Farthnar and leans down and whispers, I'm going back to my room. I don't want Aslan to be angry for finding me out of my room. And she gives him a little kiss on the cheek, and she heads back to her own room as soon as she feels that presence recede.
All right, yeah, and he leaves, and you guys all hear it too, the little bell.
Vian will... she'll actually make her way out into the hallway after kind of putting on her arms and armor, slinging the axe and putting it over her shoulder. And she'll make her way into the hallway and kind of look around.
She catches Keltiel leaving Farthnar's room, and Keltiel looks to Hunter and Viren. It looks like we all survived the night.
You see Vern, just her eyes kind of narrowing slightly, and she looks Keltiel kind of up and down. Yes, it seems like some of us decided to do more than survive during the night. Great place for it. Good choice.
Keltiel blushes a little bit and looks down. But then she looks up again and meets Viren's eyes directly. If not now, then when? Maybe never.
Vian shrugs. Well, I guess you're right in that. At least it sounded like you're having fun. Maybe next time put a pillow over your head or something.
Keltiel rolls her eyes. Are you speaking? Never mind. There's no time for this. Hunter, has anyone found anything else of note in their rooms?
I've studied the map. He looks it over, and we go through the library towards where the observatory and alchemy lab are, and he just kind of quickly shows her the map. Then I think that we can get to the manor that way.
Say that again?
The observatory and alchemy lab on the map, and he'll show it to her. If we head in
Yes.
that direction from the library, we can get to the manor.
Good, good. Do you mean to do this now?
I think we should see exactly what Asmund has in store for us. He might just leave us in the library, and then either we can sneak out away from that, whatever it was, that stays in the place, or we can try to take it by surprise and flee.
Keltiel shudders a bit at the memory of the blood mage, but then nods. I think you are right.
If he's expecting us to do something else, and Hunter's kind of rolling up the map and putting it in his satchel, then I'll just have to think on my feet. We'll see what happens.
The longer we stay here, the more likely more people will die up in the manor. We must make haste.
Keltiel looks from one to the other. I can see the wisdom in that too, but let us head to the library or to the alchemy lab. There may be something there that can at least help us in the fight.
It depends on the circumstances of us going there. If we can slip away, we might have some time to check, but if we toil around and anger this mage, we'll be in a fight we can't win.
And he only said to not wander the halls past midnight, and it is morning now. Maybe it's okay.
He also said he would have tasks for us. We don't know what that could be. Do you remember what dinner was?
He's coming, she says, and you guys can't see any light, but Keltiel looks down the hallway, an absolute certainty on her face.
Vian looks to the others. Should we go back to our homes then?
Keltiel looks at them and then she nods. I think that is best. And she heads back to her room.
Yeah, Vian kind of quickly heads back to hers and closes the door softly.
Shoot.
Yeah, you feel him coming down the hallway, and presence gets closer, and it gets more powerful as it gets closer to you. The light from his, you can't tell this place it's daytime, it still looks total darkness, except for the lights from the candles and the stove and stuff. The stove seems to have pipes that run near or through the quarters to keep the rooms a little warm. And it seems to be lit for most of the night. It was anyway. Asmund arrives. He's floating down the hallway, his eyes glowing. His rotten face comes into view. His hood is back. Strands of hair, kind of patches, attached to his head. And he smiles, or tries to anyway. My children, it is time to resume your studies.
Keltiel opens her door, takes a deep breath, and steps out into the hallway, but keeps her distance from Asmund.
Yeah, Vian does the same. She steps out into the hallway and shifts very uncomfortably.
He looks towards Hunter and he says, Baker, you will stand guard again. Patrol the library, the kitchen, and the labs. And he says, there have been raiders about of late. And hopefully soon the others will be joining us to return to their studies as well. The rest of you, report to the library and resume your studies and your books. And he says, I will call you again soon when it is time. And he twitches for a second and almost as if he hears something else, like another voice or something, and then he turns back and says, Fiera. And he looks over towards Vroon.
Yes.
And he says, have you been keeping up with your prayers?
Of course, Asmund.
We will need them. We will need them when the Algor comes. And then he'll...
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Vion she just nods. There's this nervous look on her face. She attended the church every so often. She never really paid attention much to the scriptures, so hearing that, she hoped she didn't have to reiterate any of them.
He looks over towards Keltiel too, and he says, Jidra.
Yes, master.
After dinner, we will go to the summoning chamber, and you will show me what you have learned. I am anxious to see how powerful you've become.
The summoning chamber?
Yes, I will come get you personally.
All right.
He says, all right, I'll return to you when it's time for food. And then he floats off back down this way towards the library.
Shit. I know nothing of summoning.
And I know barely anything of the gods. Not enough to recite any scriptures.
I know enough about patrolling. Just stay in the library. I'll figure out where we need to go, and then we'll find a way to get rid of that thing that's staged there.
Yes. Viren, I grew up in a temple. I could teach you enough maybe to fake it.
That would be much appreciated.
And Keltiel nods. To be honest, I miss it. Hearing my sister do it.
You see, Vion actually approaches Keltiel, and she wears an expression of an understanding. Her expression softens as she places a hand on Keltiel's shoulder. I heard what was spoken last night with Fatana. I apologize for overhearing, but I know about being separated from a sibling. Just make sure to hold on to it. Don't lose faith, because if you do, you'll get lost.
Keltiel nods, kind of presses her lips together. guess it's complicated, but after a lifetime of having only her, I don't think I know how to live my life any other way. And we will do what we can to help your brother. He's young, yes?
Yes, he's 7.
She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath at that. Oh, helpless. He needs to be gotten out of this terrible place. Well, I can't imagine a place more terrible than this one, but I suspect that those dungeons are one.
Yes, this is a bit of a reprieve from being down there. The smell is very horrible. There's desiccated corpses in the next cell over. It was... She shakes her head. There's no time for that. Just once this is over and once you get my brother, we'll make sure to get your sister too.
Keltiel smiles a little. I appreciate that. I am not sure she wants to be saved. I intend to find her and to ask what she wants.
Thea nods, takes her hand off of Keltiel's shoulder. She looks north towards the library. I hope for the best.
Let's see what we can find now.
Leon starts making her way up into the library.
And Keltiel follows. Actually, she'll wake up Farthnar and then follow. So we'll assume that he's with us, I suppose.
Oh man. I wouldn't give a fuck about Tibbus City.
Tibbus, you sleep in. That's what you're good at.
Yeah. You probably figured he was still
lazy.
sleeping in.
I saw you practicing your summoning techniques. I figured he needed a rest after being a conduit.
Yeah, when you come into the library, you can see the librarian is still over there by his candle and he's scribbling. He doesn't seem to look up at you and stare at you guys like he did last night. He notices you though, and then goes back to his papers, scribbling with his quill. And you seem like you're free to totally do whatever you want. I mean, explore the library.
Hunter's gonna kind of look to the librarian for a minute, then look to Keltiel and Viren, and the two of you should take this opportunity to see if you can find anything useful while I'm scouting. And then once I finish, we can try to get out of here.
Sure. I'll see if I can find anything related to being trapped in an underground church.
Keltiel seems a little anxious, like she keeps heading toward the direction she thinks the alchemy lab is, but then she says, let me help for a minute. And since she has the research skill, I think that means she probably understands libraries and how things are organized better than the others, and she'll peruse the shelves for a few minutes, seeing if anything stands out.
Vroon, can you make a perception check while you're over there? Oh, nice. You are able to notice near that statue that you're at that there is a little draft of air coming from behind it, like possibly a passageway.
She signals Keltiel over. Come here, come here. There's something here.
But, a book?
It's... No, it's a... It feels like air.
Keltiel licks a finger and holds it out to see if she can feel what Viren is describing.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
I think you're right. Is this... And she thinks back to the map that she's memorized. This is the way out, then.
Maybe. It could be. She'll kind of make her way back, seeing if she can find where Hunter went.
And Hunter, while you're over there, you see he's scribbling with his quill. He keeps dipping it in to nothing and writing nothing on the paper. But he's moving down the paper as if he were writing something. And the vial, the quill is long, empty, dried up.
He looks at him for a minute. Does it... Because it's striking Hunter as familiar to what the musician skeleton does, where they just have a routine or something. Is that striking him with this thing? Does it seem like it's actually intelligent?
It seems like the same thing for this one. Like this is the routine, but you remember this one time. Like he, that was weird. That was different than what the bard had done. And,
I might test something. So Hunter, against all his better judgment of anything with anything undead at all, is going to look at the librarian and attempt to treat him as if he were an actual person. What are you writing?
He stops writing for a minute and he looks up towards you. You can see his eyes are glowing, that pale glow that the undead always have, that astral sight. And he says, spells. And he says, I'm writing spells, of course.
Any kind in particular? And it's testing his patience to deal with something this closely.
And he puts the quill up into the vial, and he says, Bagar, is it? Is that your name? Bagar.
That's right.
And he sits back and he says, you should just mind your own business and go back to guarding this place. You know nothing of this magic.
A wise observation. And he will turn heel. Again, knuckles still tightened.
Keltiel and Viren had been looking for Hunter, and hearing this conversation, she waits for the open. And as Hunter walks away, she says, Find Viren. I think she found what we were looking for.
Good. We should be careful. This one's smart. And he starts walking towards where he thinks Viren is.
With that, Keltiel approaches where the librarian is, and she watches for a few minutes, or a few moments, and then she rummages in her pack, and she pulls out a little bit of her own ink that she uses for her own work. And she reaches over and she pours some into his inkwell.
He looks over at you. Oh,
It appears you are running dry.
he says, you are most helpful. Deidre, is it?
Yes. Do you mind if I watch you at work and perhaps learn a few things?
I don't mind at all. But could you help me, since you are most helpful? I'm looking for a book, and one of the students has misplaced it.
Oh, which book?
He reads out a number to you that you'll probably... You've got the eidetic
Yeah.
memory, yeah? So he reads out this number. It's a very long number, and like 800. I'll have to find it. 80026-7-3 or something like that, you know. And he says, would you be able to find that book for me and return it?
Oh, yes, I will file it back where it goes. All right, I will go look. Is it the same number that was on that piece of parchment from Ghana's Bible, or is it just kind of written in the same format?
Oh, it is. Actually, you do have that paper.
So she recognizes it as the same one.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that mystery solved. Well, she'll start going around the shelves and trying to figure out the filing system. And see if she can find the book, although he said it was misplaced.
All right, you start to look around through the books and everything to find that out. And what's Hunter and Varun doing?
So Vern has pointed out the statue to Hunter and mentioned, I think there's air coming out from here.
Hunter references his map. Is this in line with the secret door?
Yes.
To the chamber.
And Hunter scratches his chin, and this is the unknown chamber. Maybe the treasury, according to what Tibbus thinks, but there are lots of traps. This isn't the exit that we want.
As far as I can tell, at least on the map, there's no sign of an exit.
No, there is. He's pointing out where one should be, kind of points it out. It should be further to our right. He starts to look further down the way.
And Keltio, you do
I'm sorry.
the spot over here. You realize that that's where there's a space missing for the book. And the book's, of course, not there. But you do also find the hallway, which must take you to the observatory and the alchemist later.
I think that she's going to just tell Hunter that she's going to go. She wants to go look at the lab, and she's going to head that way.
This is where we need to go. We should just leave quickly before that thing figures out we're not here.
Let me get Vatna. I think he was looking through some of the books too. And Viren will quickly run. She's gonna head back to see if she can grab him.
Find this book. If you find this book, they're numbered. They're all numbered. And she holds out that page of Ghana's Bible. I think this is important.
If you want to go check the observatory, I'll quickly check for this book. But come back.
I will be quick. And she's going to head down that way, and she's going to keep her senses open for anyone approaching.
Farthnar's probably going to follow you, Keltiel. Make sure you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody else is going to go with you.
I think Hunter is.
Hunter's gonna scout ahead. The alchemy. She's going to the lab observatory.
She's more interested in going to the lab, but you have to pass the observatory on the way there.
Gotcha. He's gonna scout ahead further and try to confirm his suspicions that that's where they need to go. So maybe check in the herbatorium or the well for ways out, because he just wants to leave as soon as possible, get away from this blood mage.
Yeah. Farthnar probably stand up here and try to guard. And Keltiel, you move into the chamber where the stone steps lead up to more stone steps that go into the observatory area. According to the map, anyway. That's where it says this room leads.
Right. So she's keeping her senses opening, but she'll peek into the area that's supposed to be the observatory, but that's not what she's really interested in.
Mm-hmm. When you glance up in there, you notice that there is a pedestal in the center of this chamber. You notice that the walls, they're painted black. There's a large fur carpet in the center of the room. The ceiling is domed and has strange circles and lines painted on the stone on the ceiling.
Have they found any additional candles that she could light?
Yeah, you could light a torch if you want to. You can use your torch button.
Yeah, do that.
Oh god, I think Vren's gonna do that as well.
Oh, yeah. That's the stuff.
Yes. Yeah, and there's plenty of candles around, so if you guys need anything.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, sorry. I should have reminded you guys about that, because I see everything fine. I mean, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's Asmund
Okay.
vision.
Keltiel steps into the room a little bit and then says to Hunter, "It's an observatory, but it's underground. What is being observed and how?"
Hunter will think about it.
And this-
He looks to Kilteo. You certainly can't look at stars if you're underground. He's
Yes.
a blood mage. What would a mage use something like that for?
She thinks for a minute. Scrying, perhaps?
You see the globe on the pedestal there. It looks to be like the world, you think. This whole world. The realms of Koth. You can see Bale Clade scribbled on there, and strange places you've never seen before painted onto this globe.
She walks up to it, shines light on it. She'll reach her hand out and tentatively touch it where she thinks Balaclade is.
When you touch it, it starts to move. And it starts to move by itself.
She gasps a little. Probably takes her hand off and see if it stops.
You notice it doesn't stop, and then it seems like some strange kind of mist is coming out of the pedestal now. And the mist is starting to swirl as like a little current of air might have turned it almost into a tornado. Doesn't seem like strong enough to move your clothing or anything like that, but it as the mist starts to grow, it starts to move around you. Do you want to stay there, or?
She looks in a little bit of alarm over to Hunter. It's not hurting me yet.
You should get out of it.
Can she roll thaumaturgy to see if she knows what's going on at all?
Yeah, you could try that.
Not really.
No, yeah. You're thinking maybe gray magic, but
Yeah.
that's about it. That's as far as you get. And then it turns into this kind of what an observatory would be like, the mist becomes these little nebulas and stars everywhere, and you start to see planets forming in the air around you, almost like it's an illusion created by a magical spell that shows your world and the planets and stars around your world.
Can Hunter see it from the outside?
Yeah, he can see it out there. You also notice a door. Once all of it, kind of comes together, it kind of illuminates this little door there.
A door where?
Right over here.
Oh, okay. Hunter, she says once she kind of pulls her gaze away from the fantastical, magical things that are going around, and she points to that wall. There is a door here.
Yeah, Hunter checks his map and looks at it, and then checks his map again, and there's not supposed to be.
Tibus was not a mage, maybe. He never found this one.
Hunter walks in against his better judgment, looking at the mist and growing concerned. I'll test it. He will try to... He'll listen to see, does he hear anything on the other side of the door?
No, very quiet. The handle, weirdly placed, really low to the ground. Maybe lower than normal.
He's gonna try to open it.
Yeah, it easily opens. The handle moves. And inside is a
Inside is a what? You cut out a bit.
inside is a child's bedroom. You can see the entire place is well kept. Just children's toys. Looks like a little girl once lived here.
This is different from the other rooms. It looks almost recent. And she just starts wandering around, touching things, looking in the chest, just poking around.
Everything is pretty mundane. There's nothing that stands out of the ordinary, but there is a small little box that seemed like it must have been cherished. It's sitting right next to the bed. Looks like a little treasure chest.
She reaches out to pick it up, but then she pulls her hands back. There's a box here. This is a child's room. It is probably safe. But would you look at it first?
Fine. And he's not entirely certain about all this, and he's still looking around the room, expecting the walls to fold in or something horrible to jump out of a box. And he walks over and picks up the box itself. It's not like a big box, right? It's kind of enough to put in a hand.
Right, yeah.
He's going to put his ear to it, see if he can hear any mechanism or shake it a bit.
It seems like it does have some kind of mechanism in it. Like, it moves a little bit. It's strange. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's in the shape of a small treasure chest, though.
And does it have like a lock, or what does it have on it?
It does have a shape like it would lock, but it doesn't seem to be locked. It looks like you can just pull it open.
He's going to lift the hatch.
Plays a song.
Is it familiar?
No, not a song that you've ever heard before, but it just has like a little village there, and little people are moving around and dancing with each other and stuff like that on the ice. It almost looks like Skore, but the buildings look different and the tower looks different.
Look familiar to me at all?
No.
He just kind of looks it over and kind of scoffs and just shuts it. A waste of time.
Keltiel nods. You're probably right. Let us continue to the lab. But she reaches out and takes the box and puts it in her pack.
And Hunter just watches her do so and then walks out carefully back into the observatory.
As you make your way out there, you can see the illusion seems to be fading away, going back into the globe. And everything returns to normal back in there.
So Keltiel will continue down the hallway.
Alright, what's Farthnar doing?
Farthnar, seeing them exit, his mind kind of catches up. He's been thinking over what happened earlier, and decides to follow them and see what they've found.
Okay, you start to walk after them. And Vroon, what are you doing?
She's looking for that book, seeing if she can find it anywhere.
Yeah, and you've like scoured this whole place. It's torn it up, looking through all the books and can't find it anywhere.
Yeah,
You don't think it's in here?
Yeah, she sighs and, seeing the librarian kind of do his thing, she's gonna casually keep making it look like she's going through books, and she'll pick up one at random and start making her way over to where everybody else is gone.
Farthnar, when he catches up to Keltiel and Hunter, kind of asks in a low voice, have you found anything yet? Anything of use that will help us here?
Naughty. I think this is the lab. If we're lucky, there will be some here.
Hunter pauses for a minute and starts to think. They've all likely left the library at this point, and he's getting paranoid. We need to be quick. The exit should be this way, but if you're going to do a check on it, be quick about it. I'm going to try to set some things to slow them down.
Good. But, I should tell you, ever since last night, I can feel the presence of that Aslan creature, of the bard, and everyone. I think I should be able to feel him coming. Really being unable to provide any additional explanation for how this is happening, she just shrugs and heads into the lab.
Yeah, Hunter looks at her, quizzical behind the mask, but he's a creature of old habits. And if you can, great, but I don't take chances. He starts unfurling some traps and spikes that he's packed away.
Farthnar kind of nods in approval to Hunter and let's use every advantage we have.
Hunter nods and looks to Veer in passing. Goes about laying some traps across the hall.
Viren just kind of stays there. I will stay behind the traps just in case they get by. If they happen to get by, and I want you, Say, to make it for the door. Just we need to make sure at least someone gets out.
No, there's no need to be sacrificing any life yet. These traps should be enough.
I'm not sacrificing anything. I just know I'm more capable in a hand-to-hand fight than any of you.
Hunter shrugs. Goes about laying his traps.
Blue flames erupt in the chamber in the alcove.
Keltiel backs up a little bit.
They seem like they just light up the candles that are in there, and you can recognize them as magical flame. And the middle of the room is taken up by stone tables and all manner of alchemical equipment on them. It's a playground to you, the alchemical knowledge, the table with all the alchemical symbols and elements. Everything is still here. Compounds and crystals. There's dozens of flasks and vials and alchemical tools for mixing and preparing potions and powders. On the back wall, there's a collection of jars. And, even on the walls everywhere, you just see jars and jars of things marked with various ingredients and components. You can tell which ones, just by looking at them in your skills in alchemy. You can tell what has expired and what is still available. So I've composed a list for you. It should be open to you in the journal now if you wish
Great.
to take anything.
Oh yeah, she's like a kid in a candy store, picking jars off the shelf, putting things in her alchemist belt, moving on, looking behind her over her shoulder, thinking that this is too good to be true. She's got to be something bad's going to happen any minute. But she's going to walk around and take whatever she can. Does she see any? Well, it'll be on the list, I suppose, if she found any formula. But she doesn't find the book in here, does she?
No, definitely not the book. But you do find a couple of formulas. There's a mana potion formula, and there's an herbs of true sight, but I don't know if you have those already or not.
She has the mana, but not the herbs of true sight, so that's a good one. Great, so she's probably in there for quite a while.
Yeah, I remember you've been wanting to go in there. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot that has, decrepit and kind of rotted out by now, but For instance, the sulfur and the gray band and the psi stone. There's a sunstone for that they used for navigation. All these things are still there, and these things can be used. They don't shatter when you use them. Most of the stuff in here that is all rechargeable.
Ooh, that's good
Crystals.
stuff.
The rest of you are looking down the hallway, and Vroon, you walk up the steps.
Yeah, she's gets a bit curious and just kind of starts making her way down, seeing if she can spot any doors, as Keltiel seems to be taking quite a while in there. She gets a head start on going forward.
Yeah, you can see the strange blue light and really strong scents of like a plant life and flowers, strange aromas. And down further, you do see a well in the distance, and there's a lot of plants and flowers in that chamber that seem to be entangling the well and growing up around it. There's even small insects flying around in there. So you pass by the herbatorium.
Yeah, she makes her way closer to the well. She's actually gonna look down into it, seeing if she can see maybe if it's a well to the outside, if it's just a well that they fill up from in here, like what kind it is.
The entire room seems to be made of cobblestone and covered in vines. There's beautiful purple and flecked multicolored flowers. Unleash a strange scent, though. Make a body check when you get in here. Not the body save, just a body check, though. Okay. You notice that you feel the scent is so strong, it kind of like almost makes you want to sneeze, and it makes you kind of woozy, like the same feeling you've felt before when you got drunk. Something odd unnerves you about this place, but down in the well, you do see water, and you swear you felt something bump your foot, your boot.
Yeah. Gun kind of takes a quick peek down the well, seeing there's water, and kind of feeling this strange, almost intoxication kind of come over her. She just backs out of the room for now, not feeling entirely comfortable to go in there. Something to do with the plants that's going on, so she'll head back up. She'll take a peek to see if Keltiel is finished with her search.
Keltiel's finishing up. She walks out into the hallway, somewhat excitedly, clutching her lute. She looks at everyone. I found so much. I found some bane salve. If any of you want some, you add it to your weapon, and it makes it particularly deadly. It's best used on a sword or an axe, or something you would use up close.
Farthnar kind of turns around and nods to Vrun. Sounds like something she'd benefit from.
You could actually put them on your arrows, too.
Would it only be good on one arrow? Would it?
I would say you could probably use one on several.
Okay. Well, she'll say, actually, I think there's enough here that arrowheads are small. You could apply it to several, and that would make them more effective. So she'll give one to Hunter and one to Farthnar and one to Viren.
And she'll nod and take it. How long does it last?
It lasts until you use it, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You wipe it on there and it'll last for pretty much a battle.
Yeah, Vian takes it and looks to it before putting it away. Well, I'm glad there's much useful things, but she turns her head back south, down towards the well. There's a place I didn't see, but I went towards the well. There's something there. It made me feel strange. The flowers there.
Oh, did you recognize
Did I recognize them?
the flowers?
I'm not a herbologist or anything like that, but it made me feel like when they spent a lot of time in the mess hall with much intoxicants.
Between the three of us, does that sound familiar? Because it seems like if it's something that's...
I have plant lore. I don't know how much.
Yeah,
give
Keltiel
that a
does
go.
too.
Yeah, you guys could check that out. Roll that. Yeah, you guys both know what it is.
I'm sorry.
You're cutting
Can
it
you-
there, Rogue.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You know of several carnivorous plants that can put you to sleep, like blood vines, and once you're asleep, they will devour you.
Is there any easy way to get rid of them?
Fire.
Do you think that trapped?
Sorry, what did you say there, Slip?
You were
You cut
cutting
in
it
and out a
out.
little
Oh,
bit.
sorry. Do you think we
Nope, it's still cut out
attention?
Oh no.
Do
Oh
you have
my
a fan
gosh.
in the background?
Hold on. Yeah, let me.
That summer heat.
All right.
Scorched earth.
She's in the LZ and
It's my room that doesn't have the add-on that has its own seas. Sorry. um, should we try to get rid of them? I think we could burn them, but it might attract attention.
But that's only if we think there's the exit down there. Otherwise, we should look down the other hallway that's down here.
Agreed.
Yes, if there's water in there, so I have assumptions that there's a lead outside. We might have to swim is the only thing.
let's keep that as an option.
Yeah, Hunter's gonna finish up with his traps and then follow suit because he wants to take a look at the rooms.
And then she kind of steps towards this and sees, I'm guessing, does she see this like purple haze?
Yeah, you notice the glow in this chamber is all coming from these strange orbs on pedestals in here. It lights the chamber in this strange glow. You've never seen anything like it. It's a weird light.
Yeah, she'll take steps in and start looking around to see if there's any sort of like a passage within here.
Yeah, when you walk in there, the entire chamber is filled with plant life and strange formations of crystals that seem to be growing. Looks like whoever put this in here is making components and everything, uses these plants. They're labeled, most of them carvings in the stone pots, and they got angry faces made in the stone of the walls. They possess some magical spell. Keltiel, you can tell that this is some kind of magic to pretty much make these plants grow, to give them light in this subterranean chamber.
Yeah. Do the plants look useful?
There are some in here that are useful, and I will make this available to you. You notice that there's kind of a fountain in the very back of the room. The image of a succubus holding onto a cauldron. Dark water pours from the cauldron into the fountain around her. The water runs along troughs, though, that pretty much feed the plants, the roots. Doesn't really look like water that you would want to drink, though.
Yeah, she doesn't touch it. She just starts collecting whatever plants she thinks useful. And if any of the crystals do as well.
More stuff for basically Keltiel to play with. Farth9, you notice these as well. You'd probably know quite a few of them. That should be available to you as well now, the herbatorium thing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Some of the plants can just be used straight out, like the curb either.
He looks for anything of use, especially in this situation, be it, some sort of healing salve or plant.
Yeah.
Anything of use.
Definitely, yeah. You could take like the Malice Lotus that adds D8 hit points, and Witch Hazel, and Hawkberries, strengthen your body and your body save and stuff like that. You would know all these things, of course, but
Is there any curb bark in there? Because I think if no one cared, he'd probably rub one on because he's not at full capacity.
yeah.
And Vaughn does a kind of a quick once over. This isn't her kind of skill set at all. And she makes her way back out to Hunter. Looks up towards him. Do you think that the well is our only way out, or do you think it's still somewhere up there? Oh, he's be right backing. She just watches Hunter set traps.
Is that light getting more purple as we stay in there?
No, it's not.
Okay. It kind of looks
Optical
like it.
illusion.
All right, so you guys are heading back now. Try to get back before. Ooh, that's a nice trap.
I think we're looking to the well.
Yeah, I think
Are you
we're
going
trying
to
to
the-
leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the well.
Okay.
And as they approach, Jan holds out an arm, kind of grabbing Keltiel by the shoulder. Watch out. If you get too close, it makes you feel a bit hazy.
Yes. She peeks in and looks around for likely tendrils or root systems that she would aim her flames at.
Yeah, and you can see several in this place that seem dangerous, wrapping around this chamber, coming from several different places. Looks like they were put in here on purpose, possibly to guard this well.
And she looks back. And so you are sure?
This is the most likely place. If it's not here, I don't know where it is. Scorch it.
She nods, turns around, starts lighting the place up.
She's gonna cast Ignite.
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone spread out!
Oh no.
I'm going to use the
Uh,
astral mirror. I mean, astral.
Astrolink.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I swear to
Farth
God.
leans over to Keltia. Careful now.
Yeah, she starts to stumble over her words, then she catches herself.
And then as you do that, you the flames erupt on some of the vines, and they vanish as they kind of just crumble up, and scorched flames are kind of rolling up the vines, and it allows you an easy path to actually approach the well without stepping on those vines. So if anybody wants to move closer, they can.
Yeah, I would do it. Let me take lead.
Have at it.
Start looking around and see if he notices anything that appears out of place or that would signify there's supposed to be some kind of route.
Yeah, looking down the well, it looks probably 20 feet, 20, maybe 30 feet down to water down there. The water looks very dark and very still.
He'll kind of start looking around the room a bit if anything seems out of place, or he'll be consulting the map, seeing if this would offer any kind of guidance.
Both of you, Hunter and Farthnar, just make a body check.
Not body save, correct?
Yeah, not body save. Just the attribute body check. Yeah, that same feeling. Woozy feeling. Farthnar's worse than Hunter, but you're still good. And looking at the plant, or at the map, I'll pull that up real quick for you. No, not that.
Is there anything from the herbatorium to counter the mist, pollen, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, there is actually something that gives you +1 to body checks.
The hawkberry.
Yeah, the hawkberry. Do you want to take that?
Only if we decide we need to.
Okay. Yeah, looking at the map, the well, there's nothing that makes you, it gives you an idea that this would lead out of here, though, from looking at the map.
But
Are
this
you-
is the route that, I mean, this is the area that is most likely to lead towards the manor. Yeah.
Yeah, this whole pathway would be the direction that you were thinking, like, is what I really meant, though. You wanted to head like northeast, if you were in a subterranean caves and stuff, you would want to move northeast in a northeastern direction to go towards where the manor was located. But at this point, now you're heading back south, which would go back down towards the well. So
He's scratching his chin. Get out of the room.
So,
Trying to look it over, and he'll look at everybody else. We need to head northeast if we're going to go to the manor.
what about that little room we found? We didn't find any other way out of it, but we didn't look for very long.
No, that's true.
That or the room with the traps. That is the exit.
Keltiel, can you make a perception check? You're starting to sense a presence. It doesn't feel powerful like the other one, though. And it seems to be coming from the darkness, from the tunnel behind you.
Someone's coming. It's not Asland, but someone is coming.
And then you hear the sound trap go off. The hunter.
Points his bow down the hallway, waiting to see what emerges from the shadow.
Yeah, Vian looks to Keltia. Get back! Behind me.
Get to the side.
She'll get down in the hallway so that she can still see what's going on, but be out of direct line of fire.
And then you hear some kind of strange sound. It sounds like crying. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does this seem familiar in any way for me? Creature lore?
Yeah, go ahead and do that, creature lore. You can try that. Yeah, that sounds more like a spirit than anything else. That's what your first thought would be.
It's a spirit. Could be good, could be bad. Sounds bad. Get to the side.
Yeah, Vian will make sure Keltiel gets back a bit more.
And as you looking down into the darkness, you have your candles, and waiting, you hear the sound trap go again. Maybe like a bell or something that you put in there, or the sound happens and shakes again, and then you can feel a breeze. And then you see this face in the dark down there.
Oh, Jesus.
That looks like a small child, and she's hiding behind the corner of the alchemy place.
Looks like a child.
Yeah. A little girl.
Hunter holds his hand out to Kelt and Box.
She nods her hands. We're already reaching for the pack, and she pulls out the box and hands it to him.
Yeah. Stay here. And he's gonna put a hand on Viren's shoulder, one hand in the box, holding the box, and is just gonna try to calmly walk out with the box in hand.
Vian peeks around the corner, and she's waiting for a moment to see if it's going to attack Hunter or not.
She seems to just be standing there, really docile and watching you.
And he'll show the box in his hand.
You notice she waves her fingers and like a follow me motion, and then starts to head back down the passageway into the dark.
Does she look malevolent at all? As far as I mean, other than the obvious being a spirit and looking terrifying, did she look like she had? Did I discern any kind of intent from her when I was looking at her? Previous experience with spirits?
She seemed almost to recognize the box when you displayed it for her, and you didn't get like a feeling that she was angry or anything with you. More sad than anything.
Hunter looks at the rest of them, waves, and let's see what happens.
Vian
And-
nods and follows Hunter.
As you start to move back down that passageway. Sorry, was somebody going to say something?
I was going to say Farthar will bring up the rear.
Where did she go? You can hear a voice down the hallway. She went down this way.
Oh, is that Asmund's voice?
No,
Do I feel another presence coming?
you do. Not a strong one either. And then two figures come around the corner. Can you see those guys?
I cannot.
You can just see the eyes then, the two glowing eyes.
I'm sure they see our torches.
Yeah. And then one of them comes into the light. It's definitely an undead. You can see his hood. His eyes are glowing. And both of them stop. One of them's holding a long staff. The other one is not holding anything at all in his hands. He has a couple of rings on his fingers. They're both very rotten. One more than the other. The one with the staff looks very skeletal. His chest is missing, just bones there. And both of them wear ragged clothing. The ghoul mage peeks from underneath his cowl. Where is the little girl? Did you see her?
No.
And he slaps the other guy. And the other guy's, I told you, she didn't come down this way. And then they both take off back down the tunnel.
Hunter blinks a bit and then looks back to the others and back to it then.
Vian looks very wide-eyed at the whole exchange, and you could see she was ready just for to fight them and charge forward, but seeing them leave, she too is pretty stunned that they just depart. I wonder what they wanted with your little girl.
Nothing good.
Why don't we ask her?
Maybe she can lead us out.
Maybe. You have to be careful bargaining with spirits.
I usually don't talk to them.
I usually kill them.
You can see those two again. They're in like the observatory talking to each other. As she went into her room, back in her room. We'll go tell the master. And they're whispering in the corner, and they both kind of look towards you guys as you approach. And then one of them comes down the steps and grabs onto the pillar here and looks kind of happy towards Varun and Keltiel. And he says, what are you doing wandering the hall? Shouldn't you be at your studies?
We were just stretching our legs.
Yes, exercising the body exercises the mind.
Up to mischief, I bet. And he kind of looks at the girls. He looks over at Keltiel and licks his lips. What's left of him?
She can't help but curl her lip back in disgust. What are you looking at?
He says, the other one, the Bone Mage, comes and says, "Let's go to the master." And then they both kind of walk off this way.
And hearing Master that can only one person, we have to hurry. And he runs and heads up the stairs.
As you guys are about to pass, Varun being the last one, you can hear the crying again, and you see her over here now.
Yeah. She freezes and looks to the others. Over here! And she points.
She seems to pass through the library pretty quickly. Anytime there is light, she disappears and vanishes, and she seems like she was moving towards the quarters or through them.
I think she might be leading us to the dungeons.
Anywhere is better than here.
Don't
Girl,
be so sure.
where did you go? Keltiel cups a hand over her candle to dim the light to see if she can see the girl.
Yeah, you notice she peers again, and she waves. She seems kind of happy this time, like she's playing a game, and then takes off towards, for sure, the dungeon.
This might not be the best plan.
We don't have many other options.
Well, we have the option of going to the traps room. But if three of you believe to follow the girl, I'll follow along. Veron's constantly kind of glancing behind them as she walks.
Oh, I was muted.
Oh.
Once you get into this room, you guys hear me now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Once you guys get into this chamber, you can see it heads down, stairs go down into the darkness, and you notice the little girl goes around the corner here and is getting faster, like, follow me, follow me. And then Keltiel, you feel coming from behind you, that presence once more.
Asland.
Yeah, definitely it's him.
Asland is coming behind.
We need to hurry.
Run.
Keep going.
Aren't our emotions run, leads the way.
Yeah, Veron's gonna take up the flank, but make sure everyone's running kind of ahead of her.
You might have to do your torches again. Are your torches on?
I think so.
Mine is.
Okay. Yeah, as you take off running, you can feel the presence, receding away behind you. perhaps he might be looking for you. You're not sure.
He's not catching up. He's slowed down. Not sure.
We need to stay ahead of him. He'll catch up quickly.
And up ahead, you can see this light wavering. Seems like a heavy, either a lantern or something is on up ahead. It looks to be the summoning chamber, or the chamber he was talking about before. Spell chamber, I think it's called. Here.
This would be the spell chamber we're coming up on.
And as you enter this room, it's already lit in here, like it was being prepared. There's stairs that run all the way up around, and like a platform for observations. You see 6 chairs arranged, and a large circular center of the room. There's a grand magical protective circle carved with deep runes and inlaid with many types of metals, and even gems seem to be embedded at different areas of the pentagram. You see one is missing, so there's only 4 left.
Stones?
Yeah, actual gems. Pretty worth quite a bit of money, you would think. There used to be 5 at each end of the pentagram, but now there's only 4.
That circle is meant to protect you from something very powerful. Something summoned.
Do you think that whatever was summoned, whoever did the summoning either did not notice the gem missing, or maybe it shattered? Maybe that's how Asmund is now like how he is.
And Keltiel will move forward and look at the space. Are there any shards of shattered crystal?
No. You notice the columns. There's a couple of columns on the walls. They're riddled with runes, covered in black soot from torches that used to be there. Spell chamber, it must have been where students would come to practice their magic, and they were observed from the balcony. The dome roof also, it has many cracks in it. The structure, it seems sturdy enough, but there's definitely things that have, parts of it, the ceiling that have rained down, and parts of the place, the stairs that have fallen apart over the years.
Where did she go?
The stairs. If she's taking us to the dungeon.
You notice that there's a passage that leads under the stairs as well, that keeps going to the south. So these stairs kind of wind up around.
And go up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the steps. Yeah.
Never mind, I read the map wrong. It's this way.
Kiltia, you feel a presence, like, instantly from this area here that you're at, from behind you. It doesn't feel like Asmund, but you notice a voice say, "Where do you think you're going?"
She turns to look at whatever it is.
You notice a figure cloaked and hooded. He has 2 blades peeking out from underneath his cloak, and he's pacing along the top of the platform by the by the seats up there. Up here, if you can see that. And
Yeah.
his hands are both resting on the hilts of his blades. And he seems to walk quite agilely for an undead being. His eyes are glowing from underneath his hood. I do not think you are permitted down here.
Of course I am permitted here. This is where we practice spells.
Did Maltiox send for you?
She looks back at everyone else and then turns around and says, yes.
Strange that I did not hear of this.
We just returned yesterday. Everything is a bit out of sorts.
Is it? You can see he's like watching you guys very closely and back and forth to all of you. You can feel another presence coming closer to you.
Uh-oh. Is it Asland?
No, and it's coming from the way you guys were headed. You see another undead ghoul wearing armor and another figure. His eyes are glowing past him.
Keltiel will point ahead and she starts backing up into the circle.
What's going on? He kind of looks to Keltia, then to the Blood Raider, and then to whatever's coming down the hall, trying to make sure there's a little distance in between him and the undead.
I don't know. Stay in the circle.
The Blood Raider says, if Maltiox sent you, then wait here. And he snaps his finger for one of the others. He says, go and fetch the master. And you,
Yeah, she looks to the others and she shakes her head and she looks up to the Blood Raider. We can do that. It's no problem. She starts to follow Poniard.
Poniard turns around towards you.
I can fetch the master.
Hunter looks around, and it's just the two of those, yeah? It's this ghoul and the raider.
There's one more. You can see his eyes over here, underneath those steps, that passageway there. The one you're headed towards.
Hunter looks around and looks at the Blood Raider and... Do you really want to have to answer for delaying us? For wasting the Master's time? Let us pass.
You can see, and he pulls out one of his blades. It's a short sword, looks curved, and then he slowly pulls out the other one, and he says, I do not think that Maltioch would send you down here without him. I think you are lying to me.
Can I sense Asland at all? Or still feel too far away?
He feels distant, like maybe he stopped back there or something, or he's searching around in that area.
Hunter looks up and kind of sighs, and then you're smarter than you look. and we'll try to get the drop on him.
Cool. All right, everybody, do the initiative.
Actually, everyone's gonna do a battle cry, so everyone gets a +1.
That'll be an 8 for me. 11, 11, 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies first. Aha.
Good thing I did
All
that
right.
battle cry. Damn.
Hey, nice. All right. So, Varun, you're gonna get to go first. It looks like.
Yeah. So, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you can see, you can tell where Hunter's going, and he starts to reach for his, his bow, kind of in slow motion. But you seem to be quicker than the others. What did you want to do?
Yeah. So Vin lets out a battle cry similar to the one that she let out while they were fighting the undead in the home, and it kind of echoes within this chamber, and she's going to attack the poniard.
Is this a heavy attack or?
I'm gonna do a combo attack, and I think I have 5 actions. I just gotta double check. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, if you want to burn your 2 frenzy, you're gonna do all 5. Go big and just destroy him.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Oh.
Oh, nice. And I think he might have a shield. Let me see. He does. He's gonna try to block. Oh,
Ooh.
he does not block. No, he does not have a shield.
That's still a 1. He's still banged on.
Yep.
Let me just see. Sorry, I just gotta look down here for what I've got.
That's gonna be rough.
I got Zweihander too. So do I add 66 then? Or how does that work?
What does Zweihander give you?
Extra d6 to the axe.
Okay, so when the
damage.
modifier comes in, just put D6 exclamation point.
Yeah, and then your power is gonna be
5.
5.
Gotcha.
And it's all armor defeating.
Nice.
Oh my god.
And you kill him. What does that look like?
Yeah, you see Vaughn just quickly, very deftly take this axe from off her back. Almost like it's kind of an extension of her, and as she takes it out, she cleaves, basically with 5 quick cuts, with the final one, kind of with each one like bisecting this thing into pieces, and finally the last hit just decapitating it and watching it crumble to the floor.
Nice. All right. And Keltia, what are you going to do?
She is going to reach out and touch Farthnar with shield. It's not in my spells yet, but the shield wall.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just roll a 1d20 and I get a +1 for that.
And this is a new scenario, so you will have your astral link.
Great. So
just in case.
So Farthnar gets a +2 to his.
Physical defense.
Yeah. Let's see. She can't. I don't know. How does the movement work? She can't.
Yeah, you can.
As
yeah,
long
you
as she still has actions left, she can move, right?
Mhm, yeah.
Okay, so she'll move over to Hunter and do the same thing.
And that one was 2. Let's see. That'll be 2. So 2 shield walls.
Yep, 2 shield walls, so I'll take off those. And then she's going to burn a frenzy and cast a rapid cast of Ignite on the Bone Mage.
Cool.
And so that's what she rolled.
Nice. And he's going to try to defend. Holds up his staff
Oh my god.
and fails horribly, but he does have an astral mirror, which he's going to try to use.
Oh, nice. He actually did it.
Freaking worked for him. Wow. Yeah, so he spells flying at him, and he ends up throwing up his staff and kind of like slashing it to the side.
Well, can't do that again. All right,
So,
so I'll take off all my points, and then I'm going to do my
battle chant.
battles chant. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Farthnar.
Alrighty. Seeing the Blood Raider kind of standing up over them, he draws and unloads a large amount of arrows into the Blood Raider, hoping to get him down as quickly as possible, as he's the closest one to both him and Kelt. So he unloads. I can burn, 2 frenzy to get 2 extra attacks?
Yeah. You want to go all
I will
big?
do that. We're gonna blow his load all at once. So I don't think there's any modifier for that.
No. Deadeye's the 2 action ones, you get +2, but.
Oh, fudge.
Ah. Barely. Alright.
Arrow.
So you fire at him several times, and he spins around and dodges. Hunter.
Hunter is going to create some distance between him and the Mage and Raider. Just kind of sets off at a run. Actually, probably just going to go straight back, actually, now that I'm measuring that out. Yeah, so he just kind of straightens, runs back, and is basically just shooting the whole way back at the Raider. And I am gonna I think I'm gonna rapid fire it.
Go big as well?
Yeah, I think I might as well do that. So yeah, I'm gonna just rapid fire with the Eldrin bow and just try to get him down as quickly as possible. So it'd be 5. I'll burn 2 frenzy to do it. Hey, Farthnar.
Yeah.
Hey!
Oh! You love to see it.
That's a hit. That'll be ×5. Nice. That's enough to knock him down.
Yeah, so he just starts pelting the Blood Ray with arrows and sticks a couple in his knees. If there's any flesh left there, he's going to try to maim him as best as possible. And that'll be his turn.
All right. You notice the Bone Mage, after batting away the spells, he points his staff towards Keltiel and casts a spell called an Obsidian Blade. Which takes 2 actions. And that would be your normal physical defense.
Oh my gosh.
no.
Jeez.
So much red.
Oh my god.
That's really bad. That's ooh.
Oh. Do you see that on that button? Do you have any bracers?
I don't remember. Let me look. I might.
That'd be farther down to the right. If you have it.
No, she does. Yeah, she does actually. She has hide bracers.
Okay, so those are damaged. If they're weak, you lose them.
They are.
Yeah.
This is armored defeating. This is gonna be
Okay.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm
It's okay. I'm just anticipating this.
so horrible waiting.
He's like, oh man, how much?
How
How
much
far
to
is this
kill
gonna
her by?
For some reason the macro is messed up. All right, here we go.
His spell fumbled.
Oh my god. Told you we should have just went out the other place.
Oh wait, can I do astral mirror?
You can.
Oh,
That's a great idea. You
Thank
should
God you thought of
absolutely do that.
So what do I do?
It's another
reroll,
D20.
I think.
Since it's taking me so damn long to roll this.
I think you had to burn mana to do it.
Yeah, but what do I roll? Just a
It's-
1d20?
Yeah, it's just a reroll of your defensive roll, basically.
Yeah.
Is it a reroll of my physical defense?
Yep.
Yeah, same rule. It's
It's
only
against-
to
yeah.
defend magic attacks, so this is a magic attack for sure. So you would not lose your, if you're successful. Well, hopefully you don't roll a 1 again.
Oh god, don't say
Why
that.
would you?
Why would I say
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god! Oh, Kelt! Oh, I'm gonna need you, yeah! I'm gonna need to pray for this woman!
Oh no. Slip, you need to
Oh,
stop
you
playing
slipped and
spellcasters.
fallen.
Jeez.
Oh my god, no.
I'm so sorry. Well, Rogue, if you can
What
manage.
about counter spell?
Oh yeah,
You can
You
count.
can
can't
have that.
counterspell it.
I can't.
Do you have it?
you can.
Okay,
you can.
okay.
You have it,
Well, that's what I'll do then.
Hey,
Hey, no roll on that.
Don't say anything.
You can. Because it has taken me so damn long to get this macro to work.
Holy moly!
For some
Oh
reason,
my
I'm looking
gosh.
like Obsidian Blade is not popping up in the macro. Why is that not working?
Fumble.
Fumble. Oh my god. And then
And then
yeah,
one
counter-
counter spell. Thank God.
So as it's about to hit you, go ahead and describe that.
Okay, so she sees him starting to cast a spell, and she knows this is going to be bad. She knows what the spell is as it's leaving his hand, and she dodges to the side, and she slips, and she almost stumbles to her knee. She like trips over the edge of her cloak or something, and then she tries to summon her astral mirror, and she can tell it just fizzled. And so reaching deep within her, she summons just the mana that is pooled there, and she throws it at the obsidian blade coming at her, and it dissolves in a black mist, and she lets out a deep sigh of relief because that was a close one.
Nice. All right. And he is going to burn his frenzy and try it one more time.
Oh, just don't roll low, girl. It's a good thing you got counterspell.
It's a good investment.
It's a great investment.
Although this could still be bad.
Farthar pats her on the butt. You got it, kid.
That's some long arms.
Thank you.
And now my arms.
10 feet. 10-foot wingspan.
10-foot wingspan.
Matt.
Alright, cast the spell. This is weird. It's showing up different spells, but anyway, he's going to cast Flesh Rend.
Shit. That
2-action
sounds
spell.
pleasant.
Coming up with his obsidian blade.
Dodge woman.
All right, is this another physical resistance or?
Yes. Unfortunately. Oops. Not too bad. 35 damage.
Yeah, she has 5. Well, her armor probably doesn't work on.
Yeah,
Am I right?
yeah, well, yeah, it'll protect you.
It's physical damage.
Okay, so she takes 30.
It's enough to knock you down, but
You actually take 29 because you have toughness 1.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it might be added all into your
Is that?
total
I
armor.
was gonna say.
Oh, she had 4 armor plus 2. No, so yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because of you, yeah, huh?
Yeah.
All right, his first spell gets blasted and he changes it up and throws another one out of the staff. This one hits you across the shoulder and throws you to the ground.
Yeah, a wound just opens it up as her flesh starts to tear apart as if on of its own accord. She screams and falls to her knees.
The Blood Raider kind of dives off of this ledge here and rolls up onto his feet with his 2 blades. And he tries to come at you with a 3-hit combo. Spinning the 2 blades around. And this would be a physical dodge for you. Forthnar.
And remember, you get that extra +2 to your physical dodge.
Yeah, thank you. When the modifier pops up, just put a 2.
Hey, hey.
Nice. So yeah, he comes in with 3 hits, like, and you are able to defend. He is going to burn 2 frenzy and try to lunge at you with a heavy attack, a stab. Oh!
Ah. Do I have enough to dodge that fumble?
Yeah.
You do have to roll your defense, yeah.
Yeah, because you could roll worse.
That is true.
But I believe that...
I'm not Kelty. I'm not going to roll this red.
Hey!
He didn't.
Oh, nice. You got a critical defense. You can attack a single attack at him.
Alrighty. What would I do with that? Just,
Since it's a critical defense, you'll get to attack at him, but you'll get a -2 to hit. Being with the
longbow,
yeah.
up close and personal. Okay. Modifier -2.
He does dodge it, but his blade, one of his blades, is actually broken now. So you might have broke his blade, I guess, when he stabbed at you. What happened there?
As he jumped down and rolled up and attacked him with a series of stabs and thrusts, Farthnar kind of dodges left and right, ducking over one blow, and then he tries to lunge into him, and Farthnar kind of swings down with the bow, and while his shot miss, he does kick away, and it catches him right on the hand and breaks the weapon, causing it to tumble to the ground.
Nice. And now it's Brune.
And she's going to run at the bone mage. And do I take a -1 to attack for running?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll do 4 combo.
He says, wait, stop!
And at this point, Vian's not listening at all. She's just going full into it.
Oh my god, I've got kids!
Oh no,
I don't think so.
not anymore.
No, he doesn't say that. I've got kids. I used to use that a lot. It was funny. Wait, I've got kids. No, die.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
but still, that's really good.
That is enough to kill him still.
Yes. Does he actually say wait?
He did try to say wait,
Oh,
though. He didn't say
yeah.
it. He says, wait!
Yeah, Vian just does not care. She's already kind of mid-swing by the time that he's screaming at her to wait. And she, again, just cleaves into him, just tearing him to pieces. And watching him drop to the ground, you can see there's no recognition on her face that he even said anything.
Nice. And killed.
Yeah, now that the bone mage is satisfied with limp puddle of goo on the floor, turns her attention to the Blood Raider and tries to ignite him with a rapid cast.
Nice. You want to go 4?
Yes.
Nice. Oh, that's a critical hit.
Yay!
He still gets to defend, I guess.
That's a hit. So this is going to be, it'll be 4 hits.
She's going to use a power surge as well.
Nice.
Kind of sucky damage, but oh well.
Alright. Actually, I think that's supposed to be times 2 more. Yep, it is.
Yeah, because you critical.
156 times 2. So 112.
Yep.
He's on fire. He's on the ground now. So what's that look like? What happened there?
Yeah, she turns her attention to the Blood Raider. Hand glow red. Thinks to herself, please don't screw this one up. And she pushes a little bit of extra force into it, and the undead Blood Raider erupts into flame. Does he get extra damage from being undead?
No.
Okay.
And Farthnar.
Farthnar, seeing this creature burst into flames, backs up, unloading 4 arrows into it as he does. Won't burn any frenzy.
Yeah, and he's on the ground now too, so he can't attack you or anything like that when you're pulling out. That's a hit. He is still alive.
Farthnar, the flaming body as it rise on the ground, quickly puts 4 arrows into it, doing his best to make sure it stays on the ground.
And Hunter.
Yeah, seeing it's on the ground, he will move up closer and just, again, also following suit with Farthnar, just continue firing arrows into it, trying to put it down. And I will use 2 frenzy for the 5 combo attack again. Oh my god.
Ooh.
Oh, come on. How is that resolved then?
That's still it. You still hit him, but it's not critical.
Oh, okay. Well,
Still good.
Yeah, you're still gonna destroy him, I believe.
don't say it till you see it. Okay, you can say it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, so Hunter slow advances and just keeps shooting it as it's down, and sticks the last 2 into its eye sockets for good measure. And lets it lay there for a moment, getting ready to load a second one, waiting to see if it tries to get up.
All right, and as you can see their bodies kind of dissipating into ash and just falling apart. Their clothes, what's left of their, their entire corpses just dissipating. And what do you guys do now?
Farthnar kind of rushes over to Keltia to see if she's all right, looking to see where she was injured and if she needs assistance, medical assistance.
Oh,
Oh, I scared her off.
he's out.
She's unconscious.
Oh no.
Yeah, she seems to be. Yeah, she seems to be almost halfway down on her health.
Go ahead.
I was going to say he'll kind of reach into the old bag and pull out some of that cur bark, probably apply some to her, stop the blood and kind of bring her back a little.
If you don't have any healing skill, just do an intelligence check. And when the modifier comes up, put a D12 in there. You can put a plus D12 with the exclamation point in case you max it.
D12 modifier.
Okay. That gives her some more life there.
And as Farthenard's tending to Keltiel, Boone takes the ashing and decaying skull of the bone mage, picks it up with her hand, just crushes it under her fingers, kind of lets the ash run through them. And she turns back to the others. You can see she's still ramped up for a fight. Kind of seeing Keltiel on the ground and hurt, she takes a number of deep breaths as she stands there, and she'll make her way over, setting her axe down with a heavy thump on the ground.
And you all notice as she's laying there, she's kind of like regaining her senses and stuff anyway. You notice the blue light in the corridor appears, and Maltiok enters. Lord Maltiok, what they've been calling him anyway, as Asmund. He says, "My children, so curious to begin so early, I see."
We were just excited.
He says, "And these men attacked you."
Yes, it turns out they were some of the raiders that were coming through. Right? And she looks over to Hunter.
They did attempt to kill us.
Says, "They should know better. They should know better to enter into Lord Maltiok's chambers. If you wish, we could start practicing now." He seems like he's just pacing around you guys and floating. "Or would you like to resume your studies?"
Farthnar kind of points to Keltia and goes, Deidre's hurt, we can't start now.
Yes. Let us get Deidre back to the library.
Sure. We can assist her.
Farthnar kind of picks her up in a cradle if she can't walk, and we don't have much of a choice.
Yeah, Hunter looks down the passageway one more time and sighs and shoulders his bow, hands clenched.
He does seem rather agitated. You can't tell if it's because of you guys down here or what it is really. But as you guys started to leave, should we pause for a second and see if she comes back? Or
I think she's
I'd say we
Gonzo.
just end it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what? Yeah, she can watch the end of it. It's fine.
yeah. And as you guys get down to the end of the corridor, you can hear a voice, a different voice than one coming from Asmund or Maltiok. And as he believes you guys have kind of turned the corner and left, you hear this voice.
Ruktis nugada, aktkon gad musi oktau.
And he says, "Yes, master. I will speak with you later. We will take care of this. I promise." And that's where we can end the session tonight.